Hey there! I'd like to show off a handful of my favorite features of vim-better-sml. vim-better-sml aims to be a feature-rich, interactive development environment for standard ML. We're not going to get to see all the features that it has, but luckily they're all documented here in the help. You can scroll through and see all the features that relate to syntax, indentation, file type stuff, external plugins. And there's even a section here at the bottom that's going to walk you through step-by-step of how to install this plugin. There are a handful of external dependencies that you're going to need, but if you run this vim-sml check health command, it'll automatically detect whether you've set everything up correctly. So definitely check that out when you get the chance. For now, let's jump into a demo. So I'm going to open up just a normal standard ML file. And the first feature that I want to show off is the embedded REPL. So using embedded terminal buffers, we can actually get a standard ML REPL right inside of Vim. So if I run this sml REPL start command, we can see that in a split opened here to the right, we have a standard ML REPL running standard ML of New Jersey. The first thing we'll actually notice here is that this REPL is syntax highlighted. So all the interesting stuff is highlighted in like green and purple, and standard ML syntax is even recognized. And all the unimportant stuff has been grayed out so that we don't have to be bothered reading through a bunch of automated output. So if we, for example, made an error, and maybe we had a syntax error right here, then if we run sml REPL build, it'll run cm.make over our project, and it'll show us that we have a syntax error. So we can reset that, run sml REPL build again, and everything's back to normal. So the next feature that you can do in the REPL is you can interact with it. It's a normal REPL, so if we go over here, we can start writing functions. So like util.println hello, and it just works. So you can interact with it just like normal. Sometimes though it gets pretty tedious to have to prefix all of your things in the REPL with the structures that they're in. So there's a handy command sml REPL open that'll figure out the structure that you're currently in and open it for you. So we see over here at vim-better-sml figured out that we were in the util structure and opened it. So if we run println directly right now, it'll work. We don't have to type the prefix out. So there's a handful of other commands here. One thing that I like to use is this sml REPL clear command, which just clears the screen. Sometimes that's handy. And for all the complete listing of commands that you can use to interact with the REPL, be sure to check out the help. So now there's a handful of other features that actually don't use the REPL but are still super powerful. So the first one is we can put our cursor over any variable and ask for its type. So we run this sml type query command, which you saw blink onto the screen, but then was quickly replaced with the type that it found. So this stir variable is in fact of type string, which is nice. It works for functions too. If we hover over this print error variable and ask for its type, we'll see that it's a function from string to unit. This even works with things that are in the standard library. So if we come down here to this real path function, which is in this SML basis library, and ask for its type, it still works, string to string. And then the last feature that I want to show off is that you can actually jump to definition. So if we come up here to this stir variable that we were using before, and we type sml jump to def, we can actually jump to its definition. So from where the variable was used to where it's defined up here in the function argument. This works for functions too. We can go on this function call and jump to its definition. And it works with the standard library as well. So if we put our cursor on this structure, filesys, that's defined in the basis library, we can jump actually into the basis library where these files live on our system. So you can see this is in the path user local seller Milton, which is just where I happen to have Milton installed on my laptop. This might differ for you depending on how you have it installed. But once we've jumped to a different file, we can type Control-O, which is just a normal Vim keystroke, to come out. We can go back in with Control-I and then back out with Control-O. So that's pretty much it for jump to definition. And then the last thing that I want to just briefly mention is I was using key bindings for all of the commands for interacting with vim-better-sml in this screencast. You can see all of the key bindings that I'm using over here in the README. So for example, like leader T for a type query, and like leader, I think I was using leader IF instead of leader IB, but you can see all of the ways to abbreviate the commands that are available here. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. Otherwise, thank you for watching.